When I first showed up, the ship was just tying up. I had to wait for them to get the lines out and everything. I was looking to the fact that I was going to be going across a brow or a gangway and saluting the flag and requesting permission to come aboard. Anyhow, she got tied up and somebody said, come over this way, and had me to jump over the gunwale, threw my sea bag to them, and they sent me down forward berthing. And I had to stay down there until they got done for about an hour because they were unloading buoys and everything. And when I came out, the place was a mess. I thought to myself, holy cow, this is really something. I never expected something like this because they didn't talk about a buoy tender too much when I was in Coast Guard. In the boot camp, they taught mostly about, the white ships. This was the Blackwater Navy that they described it as, and we didn't see a lot of heavy seas for the most part, but we sure saw an awful lot of physical work. This was a place that it wasn't for the weak of mind or physically inept. If you weren't strong, by the time you came off the ship, you had grown some muscles. It was all full of seaweed, and there was chain laying all over the place. It was quite a bit of a disarray. I didn't expect to see anything like this, but this is exactly what a working buoy tender would look like. I got a first-hand look at it right off the bat. I was 17 when I went to boot camp. The reason I was 17, I got skipped a grade in school and graduated at the age of 17. I was given an alternative by my dad that if I didn't go to college, I was going to go in the service. The draft was really going crazy then. Vietnam was a forefront. It was a scary thing, but the Coast Guard really, it didn't seem to me like I'd be on the front lines. Nobody even gave that a thought. When I started out here, I was pretty much the new guy. I got all the jobs that nobody else wanted, which didn't bother me any because I felt, this was my job. You did it. Did a lot of cleaning of the heads and cleaning berthing compartments and sweeping up and chipping and painting and that sort of thing there. I don't know whether I got really good at it, but I tried to do the best I could. And eventually, I can't remember the times or dates or whatever like that, but the captain that was on the ship needed a striker on the bridge to become a quartermaster, and I was elected to it. And I went up on the bridge for about 7 or 8 months, I believe, which was probably the best thing that I could have ever asked for, because I did learn formal navigation, chart reading, and plotting courses. And having learned that sort of thing there helped me an awful lot in getting licenses later on down the road.
You became a boatswain's mate here?
Yes, I became a third-class boatswain mate. The informal thought on a boatswain mate was a jack of all trades and a master of none. You learn everything about that ship. You want to learn about damage control, safety, navigation, launching and recovering small boats. Everything that has to do with operating that ship other than maybe being down the engine room. And as long as I was on here, I learned a lot of the different trades down there also. A striker is a non-rated rating until you get what's called a crow, your third-class rating. You'll receive a designator of whatever that particular rate would be. A quartermaster's designator was a ship's wheel. Anyhow, I had that designator. I guess I was being rewarded and I took that job. And after he got transferred and another captain came, I saw an opportunity that, if I wanted to change my rating, I could do it. And that's when I decided to come back down on deck. My last year on here, I became a qualified boom operator. Yes, that was quite a job. The boom has 3 appendages. A single wire, which is just a hook on the end. A double wire, which is a block and tackle. It's got 2 wires connected to it. And a 3-fold purchase has 3 wires running through it. This is giving it a better mechanical advantage. The more wires running through the block is taking up an awful lot of the weight. Each appendage has 3 levers. Well, there's 3 levers involved in running it. You have the brake, you have the friction, and you have the dog. The dog shuts everything off. The brake and friction is either stopping that wire while you still have friction on it so that it doesn't fall. Next, you have to take and put the dog on, and you can let the brake off. What you would do to swing this boom back and forth was you would put the whip, which is the single wire, hooked to the gunnel on that particular side, take up on friction up on that whip, and you would just pull the boom over. Lay over the gunnel to let your buoy go. We might have 5 or 6 buoys on board where we were going to annual that station. In other words, we were going to put a complete painted buoy out on that station. Most of the time using that chain and sinker after an inspection. Yeah, you want that buoy as positioned as close to what it shows on that chart as possible. Most of the time it wouldn't be any more than 2 or 3 foot off of where it would be, which would be the exact position anyway on the chart. The place looks exactly the same as when I was aboard this ship.
Well, come on and tell me about the boom controls here and what it was like to bring a buoy on board. You used to work right here when they were bringing a buoy up, right?
Yes, I did. It's a very deliberate operation. Each one of these levers has a specific job. It got to the point when I was doing this, and I wouldn't want to try doing that now, having been away from this place for 60 years. It seemed second nature, and it was quite an honor to be able to do this. I enjoyed it a lot, and when I was the boom operator, I thought that, that was about the best goal you could get. It was as good as being captain as far as working on deck.